In this audio, I wanted to talk about how this life is not about chasing somebody else's shadow, but about your own sacred reunion, about the reunion of your own Shiv and Shakti, your own divine masculine and feminine. There's a beautiful letter that I'll share, but before that, I'll share my views on what divine feminine is, what divine masculine is, how they behave when they are wounded, how they behave when they are healed, how they can hold space for each other. So, the outer person that you might be fixated on, whether it's a man or a woman, here we are not talking about genders, here we are talking about energies, the masculine and the feminine, both of them, which are within you. So, anybody that is outside of you, which you project on or you consider to be your project, so to speak, is a misplacement of the direction of your energy. Your longing is real, but the direction in which your energy is going, the love, the care, the longing, it's misplaced because it has to go within. Because whoever is outside, who you think is your mirror, is your divine counterpart, is mirroring only what you have within you. And their purpose is just that 3D union or the union in the physical plane and all these things. These are of lesser importance than being whole within yourself. So union is not out there, it's within, it's in here. And until that inner marriage happens, every outer relationship will mirror your chaos. Let's make it simple. We each carry these two core energies, masculine and feminine, not man and woman, not roles or genders, but principles, forces of consciousness. So the divine feminine is your capacity to feel, to be intuitive, to receive. She receives, she dreams, she creates, she dances in the unknown. But when she's wounded, maybe because of a past relationship, or a mother wound, or for any reason whatsoever, or a father wound even, it completely depends what happened in your life, or maybe in previous lives. She becomes very overwhelmed, very anxious, afraid to exist without validation. This might even have been because of your career. And she may collapse emotionally, she'll feel abandoned and try to please to avoid rejection. So these he, she that I'm using here, these are just for reference, just to tell who I am talking about, the masculine or feminine. So when I speak she or he, consider both of them to be a part of you. Imagine a girl. She had a parent who was very angry, very volatile, absent. No one protected her. No one told her that she was safe. So she grew up with an overactivated feminine, always hyper vigilant, emotional, yearning for safety, craving for love, but never really feeling that she was truly seen. And often, no inner masculine ever developed. So no calm voice inside ever said that I've got you, you're safe, we'll make it through, it's okay. So the divine masculine is that voice. He's the structure, the direction, the protector. He doesn't fear emotion. He makes space for that emotion to flow. He doesn't fix the feminine. He honors her while she releases her emotions. He stays with her. And when this masculine within you gets wounded, he becomes very cold, dismissive, avoidant. He sees vulnerability in relationships, in work, or anywhere as weakness. He starts fearing intimacy because he never really had a safe model for it. And then he starts ghosting, inside and outside. He starts running from his own feminine instead of being a safe haven for her, an anchor for her. So you see, these emotions are, let's say, like a waterfall. It's wild, beautiful, powerful, just like the feminine. But even a waterfall needs a riverbed. So without something to contain the water, to give it direction, it becomes a flood. Very destructive, chaotic. The riverbed is the masculine. They say when Ma Ganga was released from the universe to come to earth, Everybody was scared that if she comes right away, she will flood the entire world. She needed sort of a conduit to come, someone to handle the kind of energy that she was and release only the energy that was necessary. As always, Lord Shiva stepped up. He received her in his hair, which is why in the iconography as well, you might be able to see how she flows from his dreadlocks. So that is what this masculine, it gives form to the formless, not by controlling it, but by holding it. And only then does the water become the river, flowing, nourishing, life giving. Because otherwise, it's just maybe a force of destruction because it has no direction whatsoever. So, this is the balance of Shiva and Shakti that I was talking about. One is not greater than the other, they complete each other, they complement each other. This story is often inside so many of us, a wounded inner feminine drowning in pain, and a wounded inner masculine, too absent or too armored to hold her. And so we project all this onto lovers, relationships, our twin, soulmates, everyone, whosoever, thinking that they are the answer, which they are not. So this healing is never about chasing anybody else. It's about letting your inner masculine come home, not to control, not to fix, but to witness, to stay, to hold maybe the feminine's hand while she cries, and not to run away, not to look away, to prevent her from going overboard with all her emotions, and giving her a structure, giving her assurance that all will be well. So we need that element of masculine energy within us. The reason that I wanted to share this audio was that recently I came across this beautiful, beautiful letter by Henry James. It was written to Grace Norton in 1883, and she had just suffered a terrible, terrible loss of someone from her family. This letter, when I read it, I didn't just see a man consoling a friend. It was as if I was hearing my own inner masculine speaking directly to my inner feminine. So it was him, finally, not panicking, not preaching, just being there, being present, quiet, strong, and still. Before I share the entire letter, here are a couple of lines which I think will set the stage for the beautiful words that I'll share later. He says, "Sorrow comes in great waves, but it rolls over us. And though it may almost smother us, it leaves us on the spot. And we know that if it is strong, we are stronger, inasmuch as it passes and we remain." This beautiful, beautiful line, I think, shifted something in me because that is it. The masculine does not need to rescue the feminine. We do not need anybody else to come and save us. And here again, I am not talking about genders. I am not talking about what you identify as. I am talking about the polarities that we all have within us. The masculine just needs to stay, to be present, which means not panicking when you are grieving, letting yourself grieve, but at the same time knowing when to let go grieving as well. He would be the space where her waves can crash, without destroying everything. So before you click any other reading looking for clues about someone else's mind, please pause, please go inward. Ask yourself, where is my inner masculine? Where is my inner feminine? Why am I not whole? Why do I need somebody else to complete me? Why do I need somebody else to save me? Where is this coming from? Why are my inner masculine and feminine at war? Or have they even met ever? So we have to come home to ourselves first. I shared this in one of my previous audios as well. We have to meet our own self in truth first, in authenticity, in tenderness. That is what the real twin flame journey is about, the inner one. So ask yourself today itself, is your inner water held or is it flooding? Let your inner feminine open up, cry, flow, and eventually expand. But also let your masculine stay, witness, and contain her. You need both. We all do. And so, if no one else has spoken to both parts of you, let this letter be maybe the first time. Let it be your inner masculine speaking to every single drop of your inner feminine. And now, To honor that journey, I want to read you this beautiful letter. I'll share the link to it in the description box below. Let this be your masculine voice for today, and let it speak to all the wounded parts in you. Because now you can open up and you can hold space all by yourself for yourself. Before I share the letter, here's some information about it. In July of 1883, Henry James, the famed novelist responsible for writing most notably The Portrait of a Lady, received a worryingly emotional letter from Grace Norton, a friend of some years and successful essayist who, following a recent death in the family, had seemingly become depressed and was desperate for direction. James, no stranger to depression himself, responded with a stunning letter, which, despite beginning with, "I hardly know what to say to you," contains some of the greatest, most compassionate advice ever put to paper. A feat made all the more impressive on learning that it was written just months after the death of his own parents. The letter: Boston, July 28th. My dear Grace, before the sufferings of others, I am always utterly powerless, and the letter you gave me reveals such depths of suffering that I hardly know what to say to you. This indeed is not my last word, but it must be my first. You are not isolated. Verily, in such states of feeling as this, that is, in the sense that you appear to make all the misery of all mankind your own. Only I have a terrible sense that you give all and receive nothing, that there is no reciprocity in your sympathy, that you have all the affliction of it and none of the returns. However, I am determined not to speak to you except with the voice of stoicism. I don't know why we live. The gift of life comes to us from I don't know what source or for what purpose. But I believe we can go on living for the reason that, always of course up to a certain point, that life is the most valuable thing we know anything about, and it is therefore presumptively a great mistake to surrender it while there is any left in the cup. In other words, consciousness is an illimitable power, and though at times it may seem to be all consciousness of misery, yet, in the way it propagates itself from wave to wave, so that we never cease to feel, though at moments we appear to, try to, pray to, there is something that holds one in one's place, makes it a standpoint in the universe which it is probably good not to forsake. You are right in your consciousness that we are all echoes and reverberations of the same, and you are noble when your interest and pity as to everything that surrounds you appears to have a sustaining and harmonizing power. Only don't, I beseech you, generalize too much in these sympathies and tendernesses. Remember that every life is a special problem which is not yours but another's, and content yourself with the terrible algebra of your own. Don't melt too much into the universe, but be as solid and dense and fixed as you can. We all live together, and those of us who love and know live so most. We help each other, even unconsciously, even in our own effort. We lighten the effort of others. We contribute to the sum of success, make it possible for others to live. Sorrow comes in great waves. No one can know that better than you, but it rolls over us. And though it may almost smother us, it leaves us on the spot. And we know that if it is strong, we are stronger, inasmuch as it passes and we remain. It wears us, uses us, but we wear it and use it in return. And it is blind, whereas we, after a manner, see. My dear Grace, you are passing through a darkness in which I myself, in my ignorance, see nothing but that you've been made wretchedly ill by it. But it is only a darkness. It is not an end, or the end. Don't think, don't feel any more than you can help. Don't conclude or decide. Don't do anything but wait. everything will pass, and serenity, and accepted miseries, and disillusionments, and tenderness of a few good people, and new opportunities, and ever so much of life, in a word, will remain. You will do all sorts of things yet, and I will help you. The only thing is not to melt in the meanwhile. I insist upon the necessity of a sort of mechanical condensation, so that however fast the horse may run away, there will, when he pulls up, be a somewhat agitated but perfectly identical Grace Norton left in the saddle. Try not to bail, that is all. For in that there is future. You're marked out for success, and you must not fail. You have my tenderest affection and all my confidence. Ever your faithful friend, Henry James. I most definitely recommend all of you to go and read or listen to it over and over again until the beauty of it and the gravity of it starts making home in your heart, and you start reading in between the lines. And all of us will have our own things which we will be able to relate to it, questions which will be answered because of it, and feelings which might be pacified because of it. I recommend you sit with it. And this is where I sign off today. Thank you.